What's up guys, Merc here. I've had this commentary just sitting here for a while, so I figured, why not just speak my mind and just post it with some kind of commentary, since I don't really have a subject. So I figured I'd just go ham and talk about the first thing that kind of came to my mind. And that, I suppose, is... okay, look, I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike recently, and the way I see it, Battlefield and Counter-Strike do not have a lot in common, but when you take it down to its base levels, the way you play on either game will kind of reflect, I guess, how well you do in the other game. Like Counter-Strike's is all tactics. I mean, positioning, the rate of fire, the recoil from your gun, like, you know, just your overall bullet spread and whether or not, you know, your bullets actually hit the target based on how quickly you fire, what you aim for, and overall whether you just get a kill before the other guy kills you, because they're trying to do exactly the same thing, you know? They're trying to get that bang-on headshot that just, you know, one-shots you pretty much. And you're a lot more cautious and careful in that game. You're never out in the open. Well, occasionally you're out in the open, that's... you know, that's a given. You're moving from place to place. You've got to be out in the open at some point. But you're never out in the open when you think you might get shot, or when there's enemies about. You're being cautious. You're crouching up to wherever it is you go, and you're moving along a wall. You're in cover, and at its base level, that is why I believe I'm good at Battlefield 3. Because I take those base... okay, like, I've had some people just be like, Merc, your KD is only 0.9. Yes, that's because I go for a lot of montage material. And like, another thing, Battlefield 3 is the kind of game where, you know, you can die a lot, especially if you're playing objectives. And I play objective a lot. I'm the kind of player who actually likes to get things done for the team rather than worrying about my KDR. And if I die 17 times and get a couple of kills and I still manage to arm 4 objectives, then so be it. I've done well. But back to what I was saying. Counter-Strike and Battlefield 3. Because I understand the flow of movement, like the flow of fire and the enemies, and I can apply those same principles from Counter-Strike to Battlefield, I believe that is one of the things that makes me a good player, so to speak. Just being patient and staying back and not moving ahead if I think there's a chance I might be killed. Like in Counter-Strike, you don't advance unless you're sure that you can get a line of fire on another player. I was playing with one of the guys from Mind Freak the other day, who absolutely smashes people at CS. He's professional. And he was telling me a lot about the line of fire and the flow of movement in Counter-Strike, and just being able to get that line where you're looking down the sights, and whether or not, you know, you'll be able to hit the guy if he moves into that, rather than, you know, worrying about where his line is, like his line of fire. And just, you know, and he taught me a lot just with that, and breaking things down to their base principles and just kind of going off that. And that was a real eye-opener, because, you know, you don't really take into consideration that when it all comes down to it, all these games are just based off simple mechanics, and if you can master those mechanics, then you master the game, no matter how complex everything else is. I mean, when I say that, you're like, Merc, obviously if you have a more powerful gun than someone else or whatever, you're gonna get the kill first. Maybe. I mean, obviously if I've got a sniper rifle at long range and there's a guy with a pistol at the same range, I'm going to kill him before he kills me. But at a medium distance, it's going to be a 50-50 as long as both players know what they're doing, because of that line and going for those headshots that I talked about earlier. Because when it all comes down to it, each gun does a certain amount of damage. You know, every bullet does a certain amount of damage. Each attachment reduces or affects the recoil or the accuracy of the gun, and it's all just down to mechanics and how you move. And I've just been kind of looking at games in a whole different way since talking to his name's Ramen, by the way. He might end up watching this, so yeah. So like those things he told me, and just taking them back to what I've been looking at here, and it's all just a game of mechanics and mathematics. But you don't want to hear about that, or maybe you do. Actually, it's quite an interesting subject when you think about it, and just how much these little things can improve your game when you actually take them into consideration. By the way, as you're probably just watching, I was a total boss and just revived the guy that got killed. And it's good, it's really good when people actually take those things into consideration and revive you because you did them a favor. Obviously, it's good teamwork to... Wow, I can't believe I nearly got killed by that guy. Obviously, it's good to do it anyway, to go out of your way to revive teammates, but it's good when people actually remember that you've gone out of your way to do that for them, because, you know, you end up creating these little bonds in the teamwork in the game, and it's all good fun. And I mean, that's another thing that greatly improves gameplay. Obviously, we're almost done here, but just taking teamwork into pub games to the point where you actually look out for someone else, and you almost become a two-person team just from letting each other know where you're going. Like in Counter-Strike, I'm going this way, do you want to come this way and get the bomb or whatever? And just those little gestures, those little elements of cooperation that can greatly improve two people's games. And so, look, this commentary was all over the place, guys, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. It's just, you know, talking my mind as these subjects popped into it. I hope it made some sense, and I hope you took something from it. God knows if any of it actually did make sense. They're just my ramblings, but hope you enjoyed the video anyway. This footage was from Battlefield 3. I think it went 17-2, according to the scoreboard. So, anyway, if you'd like to see more, don't forget to leave a like and leave a comment in the video section below. I read all the feedback, so hit me up. I may just reply. Merc out.